Hi, this video I'm going to tell about the introduction about the compiler. So compiler actually it is one of the system software. So the other name for the compiler is a translator. So what is compiler means? It is a program that can read a program in one language. So normally so it is called a source language. So that source language is translated into the another language. So that language is called as a target language. As I told, the other name for the compiler is a translator. It acts as a translator and it transforms human-oriented programming languages into computer-oriented machine language. So normally, when we write program in higher level language. So normally we write it in English language, but the compiler does not understand the English language, so it understands only the machine language. So the role of compiler is to convert the program that is written in higher level language into machine level language. So this is actually the role of the compiler. So as I told, it is a program that takes a program written in a source language and translate into equivalent program in target language. So this is a diagram. So in this diagram, so we have a source program here. So normally program written in higher level language. And so normally we call it as a English language. So this is actually the source program. Source program usually written in higher level language. So here we have a translator. So what translator we are using is compiler. So the compiler converts the source program into the target program. So target program means it is an equivalent program that is called as a machine program, machine language program. So this is how the translation is done by using the compiler. The program written in higher level language is converted into the target program. So we have one more system software is available, that is an interpreter. This slide I am going to tell about what is the difference between compiler and interpreter. So compiler converts the entire source program into target program, but interpreter on the other hand it will convert line by line translation. So it is another common kind of language processor. So instead of producing a target program as a translation, as I told, compiler will convert the entire source program into a target program, but interpreter appears to directly execute the operation specified in the source program on input supplied by the user. It is a line by line conversion from the source program. That is actually called as a interpreter. So the machine language target program produced by the compiler is usually much faster than the interpreter because it converts the entire source program into target program, but interpreter will convert line by line conversion. So compared to the interpreter, compiler executes much faster, but in case of interpreter, it usually give better error diagnostics because we are doing line by line conversion. So whenever any error happens in between, so it will give better error diagnostics than the compiler. So these are all the different applications of the compiler. So as I told, compiler is mainly used for machine code generation. So normally we write the program in higher level language. So higher level languages does not understand the system. So system understand only the machine language program. So to generate the machine code, we are using the compiler. So compiler convert the source language program into machine understandable one. So it is another application, and it takes care of semantics of varied constructs of the source language, and whatever the limitation and specific features of the target machine. So that also considered by the compiler. So automata theory in compiler helps in syntactic checks. Whenever any syntactic error is there, so that is found out by the compiler. That is invalid and valid programs are easily identified by the compiler. Compilation also generate code for syntactically correct programs. Whenever the compiler doing the execution, so only after correcting all the errors, it will go for the execution. So it will generate code for syntactically correct programs. And in addition to the development of compiler, what are all the techniques we used is, we know that in compiler, we have 6 phases available. So each and every phase is used for various applications. So techniques used in lexical analyzer can be used in text editors, information retrieval system, and pattern recognition programs. So for that purpose, we are using the lexical analyzer. So the use of lexical analyzer, how the lexical analyzer is useful for developing an application is, it can be used in text editors, for information retrieval system as well as pattern recognition programs. And second phase is actually the syntax analyzer. The other name for the syntax analyzer is a parser. So the techniques used in parser can be used in query processing systems such as SQL. And many software having complex front end may need techniques used in compiler design. So most of the techniques used in compiler design can be used in natural language processing system also. That is NLP. So NLP is popular language translation system. So whatever the techniques we used in compiler design, that can also be used in natural language processing system. And here we have two major parts of the compiler. So one is the analysis phase and other one is a synthesis phase. We have 6 phases are available in compiler design. So the first 4 phase comes under analysis phase. So that is lexical analyzer, syntax analyzer and semantic analyzer. So these are comes under analysis phase. And synthesis phase, we have another 3 phase, that is intermediate code generation and code optimization. So these comes under synthesis phase. So the role of analysis phase, what is meant by analysis phase? So the role of analysis phase is it breaks the source program into pieces and that is fit into the grammatical structure. For example, when we have an expression like initial equal to position plus rate star 60, so assume that this is an entire source program. So what the analysis phase will do is it will break the source program into pieces. For example, during the lexical analyzer, it converts into tokens. So each and every part in the expression will be converted into tokens. So then during the syntax analyzer, it will check whether it is syntactically correct or not. So this second phase, that is a syntax analyzer, will detect any syntactical error is there or semantical, any type checking, any data type mismatch is there. So that and all verified by the analysis phase. So then we have a synthesis phase. So what is the role of synthesis phase is, this phase will construct the target program from the available symbol table and intermediate representation. So there are 3 phases are comes under synthesis phase, that is the intermediate code generation, code optimization and code generation. So from the parse tree, so it will construct the intermediate representation. From the intermediate representation, machine code will be generated. So these are the 6 phases of the compiler. So whenever we are giving the source program as an input, it will pass us through 6 phases. Finally, target code will be generated. As I told in the beginning, the role of compiler is to convert the source program into target program. So the source program will go into lexical analysis. Lexical analysis will convert the source program into tokens. So then syntax, it will go to syntax analysis. Syntax analysis will produce a parse tree. So then it will go to the semantic analysis. Semantic analysis, any data type mismatch is there, that will be verified and corrected by the semantic analysis. Then it will go to the intermediate code generation. So intermediate code generation will generate some intermediate code. So the examples for the intermediate code is 3 address code, quadruples, triples, indirect triples. So these intermediate code are generated by the intermediate code generation. So finally the target code will be generated. So if any optimization is required, so that will be done by the code optimization phase. So whatever symbol, any identifiers are used during the lexical analysis, so that will be stored in the symbol table. And any error is there, so that will be handled by error handling and error recovery.